Hey, good to see you again. The factory sent over the parts that were looking good on the rig. They're being fitted as we speak. Have a look at the report.
Good morning, welcome to the Red Bull Ring. Let's join the action trackside as the cars are about to appear for today's practice session. Now then, Anthony Davidson, there's been a lot of talk over the last few weeks about track limits. How much is too much when you're cutting corners and running wide? What are your thoughts on this? And do you think we'll be seeing drivers pushing those limits this weekend?
Well, I'd be disappointed if we didn't, frankly. If race control want to clamp down on drivers wandering off the track, then it's up to them to police it. As a driver, you're being paid to get your car around the circuit as quickly as possible, don't forget. So if you're not pushing those limits, if you're ignoring the advantageous line, then you're not doing your job properly. Now, I agree that, we have these white lines there for a reason, and we do want to see those limits enforced, but for me, it's not a driver's responsibility to do that.
Good morning, welcome to the Red Bull Ring. Let's join the action trackside as the cars are about to appear for today's practice session. I'm here with Anthony Davidson once again. Nice to see you, Ant, and I wanted to ask you about how you go about improving the car over the course of a practice session. How much would you say is already known from the pre-race simulations, and how much do you have to do, how much do you have to work on with a real car on a real circuit?
Well, that's a good question, Crofty, and I suppose the simple answer is that there's no such thing as too much information. As you say, the bigger teams have very complex simulations, vast numbers of clever people crunching the numbers back at base, but what they can't tell you is stuff like how the track condition's going to be, or what the temperature's going to be doing over the course of the day, and how all of that's going to be interacting with the tyre. There are so many millions of tiny variables involved in getting these cars around a racetrack quickly, but the computer can't tailor the car to a driver's specific balance requirements. At some point, you still need to put a human being in there and have them feel it through the seat of their pants. And that's why we end up with different drivers having different setups. So what I'm trying to say is, Crofty, nothing beats on-track testing.
Okay, let's update the setup. Looking like a rubber out on track. Try to take it easy for a couple of laps. Too much. It's wearing quite badly. Our best lap so far is a 1 minute 12.7. We'll make the changes you requested. I know it's tempting to focus entirely on the race, but we should put a bit of time aside to run the qualifying sim program. Try to run it before the end of FP3 if you can. There's 4 laps of fuel remaining. When you can, so we can go over it.
Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top 3. Raikkonen, Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Practice times are on the board then, but no points are on offer just yet. We'll be back with more F1 action soon.
Try not to strain it too much, or the problem could get worse. You're doing well out there, keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes.
An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top three, who are a Ferrari, Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton. That concludes an interesting practice session. Let's hope for more excitement as the weekend unfolds.
We think this is due to some engine wear. Be careful with it. Super job so far, we're getting great data. Stay focused. Of fuel remaining. Great lap. You've nailed all the asphalt. Keep it up. Within the next few minutes. best lap so far is a 1:19.5.
As all the cars are now over the line, your top three again are a Ferrari, Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton. Thank you for joining us for free practice today. We'll be back with more Formula One action very shortly.
Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
Thanks for joining us on this Saturday afternoon where qualifying is about to start here in Austria. So sit back and enjoy the afternoon session. When it comes to getting lap time out of this circuit, it's traditionally been about maximising top speed. Do you simply remove as much downforce as possible, hang on in the corners and max out down the straights?
The teams will have arrived with all manner of parts designed to capitalise on the long straights. The cars will be that much harder to drive in the corners, but everyone will be in the same boat.
The grid is all set then for the race tomorrow. But before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top three, who are a Ferrari, Hamilton and Kimi Raikkonen. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow, where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, it's goodbye.
Hi, it's Emma here. Just wanted to let you know what the team are hoping for in the race.